After the causes of depreciation, the next topic is the need or the objects or the significance of providing depreciation. Like depreciation क्यों होता है वो पता किया, अब उसको रिकॉर्ड क्यों करना है? What is the need of providing depreciation? What is the objective of providing depreciation? Books में लिखना क्यों है? Let us go through that. Number one is to ascertain true profit or loss of the business entity. If I want to know the correct or the true profit or loss of the business entity, I need to ensure that I record all my expenses, all my incomes in my profit and loss account. So depreciation being a loss, I need to include it in my profit and loss account if I want to arrive at my correct profit or loss of the business entity, right? One of the basic objectives of the business is to ascertain the true profit or loss. It can be done when all the costs incurred for production are properly charged to P&L account. The reduction in the value of the fixed asset due to the continuous production of goods must be charged as depreciation to ascertain the profitability position of the business entity, right? That's one of the important object. Now, wherever this profit and loss comes into picture, so balance sheet bhi aata hi hai generally, right? So let us go through the next part, that is to ascertain the true and fair view of financial position. Financial position we come to know with the help of the balance sheet. Balance sheet when we write the assets and liabilities. But when you write the assets in the balance sheet, you need to make sure that you have charged the depreciation on it. If you don't deduct depreciation from the assets, so assets are not shown at their actual value, and in that case, the actual financial position cannot be known. So, to ensure the true and fair view of the financial position, we need to ensure that the depreciation provided is deducted from the concerned asset every year. To ascertain the correct cost of production is the next objective. Yes, we already have gone through. Okay, if I need to know the actual cost of production, cost includes all the expenses included for the production of the goods and services, right? So when you are producing the goods, you are using the assets. So when the assets are used, the depreciation to बनता है, the depreciation has to be included in cost of production. If you don't include that, your cost will be wrong and you will be more than happy in the imaginary profit, जो actual profit नहीं होगा, right? So production of goods for generating revenue requires constant and continuous use of the fixed assets. The decline in the value of the fixed asset is referred to as depreciation, and it must be allocated as expense to ascertain the correct cost of production. Replacement of asset. This is one of my favorite objective of providing depreciation. We all know that depreciation is a non-cash item. Entry क्या लिखते हैं? Depreciation to cash नहीं लिखते कभी भी ना. Depreciation to asset. Depreciation is a loss for us, and being a loss, we debit it to profit and loss account. Now, because we debit it to profit and loss account, we reduce the profit year after year. Profit reduce होता है, cash reduce नहीं होता है. तो वो amount जाता कहाँ है? Profit reduce होके गया कहाँ? तो वो तो business के पास ही है, right? अब वो amount कब use होता है? So that amount is used for the replacement of the assets. Say for example, laptop, 50,000, 5 years, 10,000 every year charge as depreciation. So after 5 years, मुझे पता है कि मुझे ये लैपटॉप रिप्लेस करना है क्योंकि दूसरी नई टेक्नोलॉजी आ चुकी है मार्केट, मुझे वो लाना पड़ेगा. So I have to discard this. I have to dispose of this asset. I have to purchase a new one. So जब मार्केट में गया, न्यू वन का परचेस प्राइस पूछा मैंने, तो दैट इज 60,000. अब 60,000 is the cost of the new asset. पुराने को बेचा मैंने, तो कुछ पैसा ज्यादा मिला नहीं, maybe 2,000, 3,000 मिला, that's all. But the benefit to me is the amount of depreciation charged year after year. For 5 years, I charged 10,000, right? Every year, 50,000 जमा है ना मेरे पास. So this is how that accumulated depreciation will be helping me to purchase the new one. 50,000 जो पहले से जमा थे, प्लस जो मेरे को रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू मिला होगा 2,000, 3,000, 52, 53 तो आ गया मेरे पास. नया कितने का है? 60 का है. So this is how it helps me to purchase or to replace the asset. Let us read it now. Fixed assets like plant and machinery, office equipment, etc. must be replaced after the expiry of their useful life. When depreciation is charged to profit and loss account, it reduces the profit to the extent of depreciation. This amount is being used in the business and it is used for the purchases of the new asset. Okay, when old asset becomes useless. For correct computation of income tax also, to compute the correct profit and loss, we need to debit it to P&L account. In the same way, if I want to compute the correct income tax, how much income tax has to be paid by me, I need to ensure that I charge depreciation to P&L account. If I don't charge, my income will be shown more, and accordingly, I'll have to pay more income tax, which is not right. So, for correct computation of income tax, also we need to charge depreciation to profit and loss account. To prevent distribution of profit out of capital, this is another important point. Just think of, if I don't charge depreciation to P&L account, nahi charge kar raha, nahi debit kar raha, so what will happen? My profit will be shown more in the books of accounts. And because the profit is more, as a owner of the business entity, I'll be more than happy. अरे इतना अच्छा profit हुआ है, let us enjoy the things. लेकिन भाई वो actual profit नहीं है, correct? I can't be that happy. Companies की बात करते हैं, companies में generally ऐसा होता नहीं है, but just think of, companies also are there which are not charging depreciation, to P&L account, नहीं charge किया है. So incomes are unnecessarily shown more, profits will be shown more, and because the profits are shown more, so they will be declaring the dividend in anticipation of the profits. कि इतना profit ज़्यादा हुआ है, that is the imaginary profit, हुआ तो नहीं actually, क्योंकि अगर depreciation लिखा तो the profit कम होता, वो तो किया ही नहीं. So because of that, what happens is slowly, gradually, you are declaring the profit or declaring the dividend out of the profit, which is imaginary, and somewhere you are reducing the capital year after year, which is not a good sign and which is not allowed by the law also. You cannot declare the dividend out of capital. You need to declare dividend out of profit only, right? In case of sole proprietorship firm, partnership firm, depreciation charge नहीं किया, profit ज़्यादा हुआ, खुश हो गए, ज़्यादा drawings कर लिया, ठीक है, इतना profit हुआ है, but actual profit तो हुआ ही नहीं है. So that's why if I want to avoid such a situation wherein like the profits are distributed amongst the owners or in the form of dividend amongst the shareholders, I need to ensure that I do charge depreciation to my profit and loss account. Next, to prevent workers to demand for higher wages. जब owners ये गलती कर सकते हैं, तो workers भी कर ही सकते हैं, right? So, अगर like the same condition, if I don't charge depreciation to P&L account, what will happen? तो unnecessary profit ज़्यादा show कर रहा है, profit ज़्यादा show कर रहा है, तो workers also take care of the books of accounts, right? उनका भी तो interest रहता है ना. Let us check the profit of the company. How much profit is a company earning this year? And once they find it's a good amount of profit, handsome profit, so they may expect some increment in their wages, some incentives to be received. They may expect some bonus, right? So to avoid such a situation, again, we need to ensure that we charge depreciation to our profit and loss account. Next is we are going to discuss something about the factors which are required for the calculation of amount of depreciation. Let us go through. The first factor is the cost of an asset. Anyone who remembers something of cost concept, the example of that, because that exactly is over here. Determining the original cost of an asset is the first factor which has to be taken care of for determining the amount of depreciation. Yes, anyone who remembers the example of cost concept?
Sir, it was like if machinery is purchased at the cost of rupees 40 lakh or so rupees 20,000 are paid as transportation cost and 10,000 as installation cost. So the amount of machinery recorded would be the total of all the costs. That is
Very good.
40 lakh
40 lakh
30,000.
plus 20 plus 10, 40 lakh 30,000. You remember the exact values of that example. Good. Okay, so yes, that is the cost of the asset. The same thing has to be considered over here. If you want to arrive at the amount of depreciation, if you want to calculate that, you need to take care of the cost of an asset. Cost of an asset will include the purchase price, the expenses like freight and all, carriage and all, and the installation charges also. So, cost of an asset is equal to cost of purchase plus the freight charges plus the installation cost. We need to estimate the life of an asset, right? We have to, because for how many years the asset is going to be there with us physically is of no use. It's totally irrelevant. जैसे मैंने लैपटॉप की बात करी, टेक्नोलॉजिकल डेवलपमेंट सो हो ही रहा है. सो आई जस्ट एस्टिमेट दैट कि मैं 5 साल यूज करूंगा, उससे ज्यादा नहीं, क्योंकि इससे ज्यादा यूज करूंगा तो I'll be lagging behind as compared to my competitors. So I need to replace it after 5 years. ऐसा नहीं कि 5 साल के बाद मतलब लैपटॉप काम करना बंद कर देता है. इट इज इन अ गुड वर्किंग कंडीशन. अच्छा खासा चल रहा है. There is no problem at all. But the softwares and all, the technological developments that are taking place, right? So that will not be supported by the previous one. So I need to estimate the useful life of an asset. That is the second factor. First is cost. Second is the estimated useful life of an asset. The same thing has been explained to you over here. Third is the estimation of the scrap value of an asset. I need to estimate the scrap value also. Just मैंने बताया कि after 5 years I need to replace this laptop, right? So after 5 years, how much I'm going to realize from that asset? Scrap value मतलब किसको बोलते हैं? The amount that we realize from the sale of an asset, right? That's scrap value. So that also has to be assumed. Assume कर लो after 5 years, after 10 years, जो भी आपका estimated life है. After that, what amount you're going to realize from the sale of an asset? That needs to be taken care of. Okay. So the different names are there for scrap value as residual value, breakup value, or salvage value also. ये one marker में important रहेगा, right? Different names are there for scrap value. So this scrap value also has to be taken care of while determining the amount of depreciation. We just take an example over here. X bought a machine for 48,500, spent 3,000 as freight, 2,000 as installation cost. Let us calculate the cost of an asset. So cost of an asset will be 48,500 plus 3,000 plus 2,000 comes to 53,500. What is the scrap value? Scrap value is 3,500. What is the useful life? Useful life is 10 years. Okay, these were the three factors to be considered for determining the amount of depreciation. Now, what is the formula to be applied to calculate the depreciation? Okay, so depreciation is basically cost minus scrap upon the useful life. Cost of an asset 53,500, scrap value 3,500, useful life is 10 years. So the 53,500 minus 3,500 will be 50,000. 50,000 divided by 10, that will be 5,000 per annum as my depreciation per annum. Per annum means annual depreciation, एक साल का depreciation.